Jesus Rosales Ruiz by Arzu Khan. Jesus Rosales Ruiz is a behavioral analyst that has contributed a lot of research into the field. He is currently an associate professor at the University of North Texas. Jesus has been a part of many pieces of behavioral analytical research as well as literature across many different scopes. He obtained his PhD in behavioral analysis at the University of Kansas in 1995. Here are some pictures and dates that you can see Ruiz in action. Here he is animal training in 2012. Here he is receiving the 2019, he's in attendance of the 2019 National Conference Autism Center. Here is Ruiz handing the 2020 Anderson Award to its recipient. And here we have Jesus graduating with his doctorates in 1995. He has also been a part of several editorial journals dating as far back as 1997 to articles published currently in 2020. So he has been in action for a while, and he is still currently in action and in the field. We have literature dating back from the 1990s. Rosales, Ruiz, and Baer, they were a part of the Behavioral Cusp article. They discussed the behavioral analytical perspective on developmental questions, on environmental contingencies. The questions in the article are whether or not those contingencies and behaviors change across our lifetime, or if they are systematically changing due to the consequences and experiences. Thus the term behavioral cusp, which I will go over in a different slide as well. Rosales Ruiz and his colleagues Duarte also published the article Verbs and Verbs Phrases and Instructional Stimuli in the Control of 26 graduate students. The study found that the students were measured to find symmetry, transitivity, and symmetric transitivity amongst words without giving it a key in order to find a relation to stimulus equivalence. The article also introduced stimulus equivalence to me, and which is something that I was not familiar with prior to research. In Hunter and Rosales Ruiz, The Power of One Reinforcer, the research goes over shaping and the desperation-driven click, in which there is a period of no reinforcement. The shaper and reinforcer of a non-target behavior is then shaped with a non-contingent reinforcement, making the behavior continue and prolong in the deprivation of the reinforcer. Here's also a 2018-2019 award to Jesus Rosales Ruiz, whose paper was recognized as one of the most read in the Journal of Experimental Behavioral Analysis. So you can see that he has given many contributions to literature, as he has been a part of many different research involving the behavioral cusps, as well as articles on reinforcement, as well as actual experiments taking place on, like as you see here, research students. So he does have a broad resulted in a decrease in self-injurious behaviors and an increase in the alternative appropriate behavior. This study is important because these are all strategies that are used in the field to reduce behaviors and increase alternate behaviors. Ruiz's work in animal training also worked to reduce behaviors in horses using positive reinforcement as well as shaping, again used in the field today. Back in 2001, Ruiz used target training with successful loads being reinforced and behaviors eventually dropping to zero. His research typically, his behavioral analytical concepts are the antecedent control of behavior specialization and generalization, as well as research and fluency-based teaching strategies in the treatment of autism. Additionally, he also talked about the behavioral cusp, which I'll go into later. Ruiz was involved in a research experiment involving neuroimaging and changes in blood oxygen levels, also known as bold responses, in relations to both function and plasticity. The article investigated plasticity along with visual stimuli presentations when correct responses were elicited with reinforcers. Um, this shows how diverse Jesus's work is, involving the biological perspective of behavioral analysis. Ruiz and his colleagues were also the first to conceptualize the behavioral cusp in 1997, which Baer and Ruiz define as behavior change that brings the organism's behavior into contact with new contingencies that have even far more reaching consequences. After reading his research paper, I was able to understand the concept more. I'm able to define it, just as Ruiz says, as behavioral change. Um, an example is a baby learning how to walk. That is a behavioral change that will bring the baby into far more reaching consequences or new contingencies. Now that the baby's able to walk, it'll have newer experiences as they're not able to go places they weren't able to go previously, as well as reaching new heights, which will put them in contact with new experiences, such as falling or maybe reaching something that they couldn't reach before. Ruiz has also won several rewards and has been a part of research journals such as the European Journal of Behavioral Analysis and the International Journal of Psychology, as well as Psychological Therapy. If I was able to interview Ruiz, I would definitely ask what got him interested in the field. It is a very broad field, and to know that he has research from so many different scopes, I would love to know what initially brought him into it. I would definitely want to know what his greatest challenge was in the field and how he was able to overcome it. The field in itself does look very challenging, so I would love to know his experiences and how he was able to overcome it. I would also ask Ruiz for advice for current behavioral analysts as well as students or future ones. He is a doctorate holder, so he would definitely have good advice for students, I believe. I would also let him know that I'm interested in conducting research, and again, letting him know that he has such broad research and would love to know how I would be able to get my foot in the door. And again, he is still in the field. I would also want to know what he would have done differently in his work and research as someone starting out, now that he has had many experiences and knows so much about it. How would he have started differently? I think that would really benefit any behavioral analyst or student. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. Here are some of my references. And I hope you're able to learn and enjoy some of what Ruiz's research has to offer.